This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, a podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. Today, we have a couple of the guys from the band Turbo Wizard. It's another band that will be at FUZZ Fest in Dallas-Fort Worth at Division Brewing on August 30th and 31st. Get your tickets while you can. Let's get right into the interview. These are the guys from Turbo Wizard. This next band up is based out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They play a fantastic blend of rock and just straight up heavy metal, man. They've got some interesting artists that they follow and artists that they like, and I got to talk to them about that pretty much right away. These are some of the guys in the band Turbo Wizard. Guys, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good.
Good.
Could you please introduce yourselves?
My name's Lauren Williams. I'm the drummer for Turbo Wizard.
And my name's Bradley Nance, and I'm the guitarist for Turbo Wizard.
Thank you.
We also both do vocals.
Yeah, I see that.
It happened.
Now, right off the bat, I got to give you thanks because it's great when I see a band that says artists that they also like, because you just got me into Cobrajab and Sweat Lodge.
Oh, man, Sweat Lodge is one of our favorites. I still listen to their vinyl. And Cobrajab, they were our brothers. We played shows with them all the time. Now, they are currently known as Dire Gnome.
Dire Gnome. Nathan started Dire Gnome after Cobrajab.
Yeah, so a couple of those members are still doing stuff today. And then Sweat Lodge currently is back together, as far as I understand.
Right.
I can't remember that either, but I think they're currently back together as well. So.
I know the music more than I do their personal business.
That's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, both great.
I get it, man. So, all right, so here's the thing. So, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, you know, I've been interviewing some bands in the Oklahoma area, the Arkansas area. I can't believe what a scene you guys have. And I know there's some places that I've seen on social media that you played, whether it was Drunken Fry, VZDs, the Blue Note. What are some places that you really enjoy playing around that area? Or maybe better yet, if a band of this genre is heading over there, where should they check out to book a show?
Well, all three of those are always definitely great places to check out. We also like to hit up Norman, and they have some great places down there, like Red Brick Bar. We just recently played the Deli for the first time as our current outfit. And make sure and bring your earplugs if you ever play the Deli. It's a brick building.
Yeah,
Red brick. Everything, yeah. Well, and Red Brick Bar is not as bad, but they're a brick building as well, so the echoing hits your ears quite well. But they're great venues.
Also in Norman is the Deli. What was it? Bison Witches or
Bison Witches is a great place. Norman's a great place to hit up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But locally, Blue Note is the place for Central Oklahoma City. It seems.
Also, 89th Street Collective too.
Yes.
They run a pretty good business over there as well.
Blue Note and 89th Street seem to be the place that gets the big bills. You know, like Mothership or what was the band we played with at 89th Street? Let's not get too much into that. I can't remember. But anyways, there's some big bills. You know, there's some big bills that go through both of those places. Absolutely.
Right. And
Mothership's that's one that I think of.
Oh yeah. Now speaking of maybe not remembering something, Psych Fest. I saw this flyer. What actually went on there? What was that all about? That was a really interesting mixed bill.
That was basically kind of what FUZZ Fest is about to be. Just kind of a bunch of heavy psych, fuzz, stoner, doom bands coming together and just all sharing the stage and playing like a small festival, just a small showcase of like some of the regional guys around here.
Yeah, and our good buddies we've known for years, ever since me and Lauren started our first outfit, Plaid Rabbit. That's PR, Plaid Rabbit, and then we started playing with 10 years ago, and the guys that started this is Psychotic Reaction.
Okay.
And man, they've just been around for so long, and they've just been a They tour like crazy, and we kind of look up to them a little bit like that, because they're always on the road doing stuff, and that's what we're trying to get ready to do. We really want to start heading out there. But there was a bunch of art there that was being showcased.
It was held at
our buddy Spencer had a bunch of stuff up, I think, and but that building that we played at, Resonator, that's also it's a large venue that has art on the side of the walls. And that's also a great place to hit up in Norman, and the people that run that place are just absolute sweethearts.
Yeah, although that's not as much of a live venue as it is more of an art gallery. But
they do a lot of art, but you can always hit them up to do shows.
Yeah, if you want to set up an event there, they'll accommodate for you.
Yeah, it's a great place.
That sounds fantastic. I love seeing something that's just a little bit outside the box, just a little bit different, you know?
That's Resonator.
Yeah.
Now, what you mentioned something just a shade earlier, and we got to get to it. You guys are kicking off FUZZ Fest in Dallas-Fort Worth, the day one in Dallas-Fort Worth at Division Brewing. So I've seen some of the bands that you've already played with. Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, man. I know a lot of our buddies are already playing. Sunlander and
Crowbone,
Oberon.
Greenbeard, is Greenbeard still?
Greenbeard's on the second day, and we've played with them as well.
Bugnog's going to be there, aren't they?
Who?
Bugnog?
Oh no, Bugnog's not going to be there. Yeah. That's another great local band you should check out. Bugnog from Oklahoma City.
How do you spell that?
But yeah, Bugnog, like eggnog, but with a bug.
But with bugs instead of eggs.
Okay.
They are absolutely amazing to watch live, so if anybody gets a chance to check them out as well. But yeah, we're just very excited to really check out all these new bands that we haven't seen before, but also to hang out with a bunch of friends, you know. Because I worked at Blue Note, I had a chance to see a lot of these bands come through there as well.
Okay.
But Redwood's Johnny is our good friends. Oberon's our good friends. But I'm really excited to see Stonewolf. That's one that I'm really excited about, and they're just right after us.
Yes, they are. They were actually the first band that reached out to me for doing interviews, and that interview's up right now. If you guys want to check it out and listen to a little bit of what they're about. So let's talk a few seconds about Oklahoma itself, and then if you don't mind, I'd like to go into your release and talk about a few of the tracks. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So Oklahoma, I'm gonna just kind of race down a list here, and you just tell me if you've seen it or if you got an idea about it, because I had no idea Oklahoma had this many museums. The Banjo Museum. Have you seen it?
Yes, it's so cool. There's banjos there with dragons on them, and I'm a huge fan of dragons. We'll just get that out of the way. Well, not dragons, but Epiphone makes these dragon banjos from like the 1890s. And I've got hundreds of pictures of that place. It's so cool. If anybody is in town for the Banjo Museum, that is the number one museum I suggest to go to. It is an absolute blast.
I know
it's so.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just the amount of banjos there is just staggering, and the beauty of them, and the craftsmanship, the carvings in them, the amount of gold hardware in that building is insane.
Really? Now,
but yes,
I don't know. I know I'm a little older than you guys. There used to be a show called Hee Haw, and a guy named Roy Clark. Was there anything dedicated to him in that?
Yes, there was, and so Lauren. He has not been to the Banjo Museum, but he is probably one of the biggest fans of Roy Clark, as I understand.
Ralph Stanley.
Oh, Ralph Stanley. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong about that. Take that back. But yes, absolutely. You can see some of his pieces in there as well.
Ralph Stanley?
No. Oh, Roy Clark. Roy Clark.
All right. So,
but yeah, great pieces.
Let's talk about what about the National Cowboy Western Heritage Museum?
So it's been a few years since I've been there.
I've never been there.
You've never been to a museum at all, have you?
I've been to the Smithsonian, been to the Art Museum.
Okay. Yeah. It's been a couple of years since I've been to the Cowboy Museum, but that's absolutely, like, if you're into the Westerns and seeing just a lot of things covered in dirt, it really seems, but it's really cool. Just art and history is fun, but yeah, everything's covered in dirt there.
All right, and also the Museum of Osteology. That looks pretty badass.
Hey, Joey. This is Joey V's place.
Oh, yeah. So we have a buddy that cleans bones for a living.
At the Osteology Museum.
Yeah.
Although we've never fucking been there. I haven't. I passed by it all the fucking time.
I've been there once, but not with our friend Joey that works there. But yeah.
We see his pictures on Instagram all the time.
He gets to clean some really cool bones.
Yeah.
That's a dirty job, I'll tell you that. But he's been doing that for years.
It's family business, I think.
Yeah.
A bone cleaner. Like when did you spill your beer?
No.
Oh no, we my dog just has a T-Rex tail and knocks over everything.
All right, so and that's another thing. When you're off mic, somebody was grabbing a beer. What's the beer of choice in Oklahoma?
Well, Miller Lite is absolutely one that is standard to get for the cheapie.
Yeah, but
currently I am having a Modelo. But PBR is also kind of the spokesman for Oklahoma beer as well.
I drink a lot of Coop, local brewery stuff like Black Mesa, Coop. We have a buddy that works at the Black Mesa Brewery right now.
Well, and then also an awesome metal band from Oklahoma just released a beer. Rainbows Are Free.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they. And it's supposedly going to be very tasty. But actually, I don't know if they just released it or if they're fixing to release it.
Is that the shit that Clams was chugging on their Instagram?
Oh, yeah. So I know you can taste that at Blue Note on a certain date, and I can't remember the date, but you can look up Rainbows Are Free, and they're a great band as well. We've played with them a couple of times over the years through different outfits as well.
Yeah, I found them on Bandcamp a while ago. I love their material. I think it's great.
Man, yeah, their music is great, and the guy that does their art is great. Just their concept as a band is great, and that their lead singer is very impressive. And,
I mean, everybody in that band.
Everybody's really impressive in that band,
especially their guitarist, man. He fucking shreds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Richie, he is a great guitarist, and Joey as well, and he does. He also spins Doom vinyl. At Blue Note and I think a couple other places. But as far as I know he spins Doom vinyl up at Blue Note once a month. So like he's kind of keeping that Doom scene alive.
Nice.
And spinning on official vinyl and stuff. So that's really cool. And I love that he does that. So they're very passionate about what they do. And I'm very excited to see them go next.
You know what? Anything to grow the scene. Now, lastly, before we get into the music, what's a good place by you for some bad food?
Fuzzies.
Fuzzies Tacos is really good. That's downtown. Man, if you want a real good burger, Tucker's Onion Burgers is the #1 burger in the United States.
And if you order their triple burger, they call it the Mother Tucker.
Yeah.
You tell them you want a Mother Tucker, and they tell you to shut your mouth.
Yeah. So if you say I want one Mother Tucker, they say shut your mouth. It's so good though. That is definitely the best burger in town and possibly in the United States. It's wonderful. Everything's fresh. Everything's made here in Oklahoma. They also just started doing bacon. They used to not do bacon.
How dare they?
Hertz.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now they got smart.
There's also Hertz Donuts if you're looking for like a sugar fix, like after you get drunk.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily a local thing, though. But I mean, Hertz Donuts is a good place to go to. Anyways.
They're down the street from every bar, it seems.
All right, so you heard it here. Anyone want to dispute the guys in Turbo Wizard for the best burger in the world? Hit them up. Social media. Turbo Wizard. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the release. So, you can get this over on Bandcamp right now, and it's a name your price. I mean, is that right, guys? Are you keeping it that way?
We did that with our album, and we're doing that with this song.
Yeah.
We kind of feel like, we try and take care of things ourselves, but we feel like people should just be able to listen to our music no matter what.
Plus, it's been a while since we've had anything out, so just
it
to have
says about 2 years and 8 months from our last release on Bandcamp. But we've been working very hard on this next upcoming. What we're going to be doing is 2 EPs.
Yeah, we're doing 2 4-song EPs. The song that we have on Bandcamp right now, Barbarian Love, is going to be off the first one,
right?
Called Barbarian Love Songs.
That's the official title of the first EP, guys. Barbarian Love Songs.
All right, so what can you tell me about that track?
So the way that started off is with an awesome riff, and the way it comes in. And you know what? People are going to be listening to this, and they're going to understand it's a love song. It absolutely is. So the way this song kind of transposes is it's these 2 lovers, and they're both men, and they're barbarians.
They're barbarians. That's why it's Barbarian Love.
Yeah. So it's a very barbaric, chaotic relationship because barbarians.
They're barbarians.
And essentially. They go through some turmoil together, but one of them loves the other one so much, and he's crazy because he's a barbarian, that he ends up murdering his love.
Really?
I don't think that happens. He gets betrayed and he runs away.
Yes.
Or runs off, and then he's like, "Fuck you! You stole my heart. I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude."
Yeah. That's more like it.
You know
I
what?
didn't write this. Zach wrote the song.
Yeah, these are Zach's lyrics. So.
Zach does a lot of our writing, and that's why a lot of our songs are all over the place. Yes. We have very imaginative writing styles, I guess, in the sense of fantasy.
Yeah.
And if once you listen to this song, and it's very much so a ballad. It's very much so a ballad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's operatic in sections. Mm-hmm. The operatic section.
Well, you said it best. It's in the title, Barbarian Love. I mean, what more do you have to say?
It's brutal and it's love, and that's kind of what life is. Yeah. Life is brutal,
especially between barbarians.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now, if we can, I want to just go back to the. I guess I would say it's full length release back from 2016 in December. I got to tell you, man, solos tasty all around. I mean, I think Trey and Lauren, they kind of hold it down and let the solos fly, and the vocals in this are so interesting. It almost seems like each track has like a borderline different vocal to it, and I love hearing that.
Most of us all 4 of us sing, but there's tracks that I take lead on.
2 of them Brad sang on. I think 2 of them Zach sang on, and 2 of them I sang. Or Zach did 3 of them.
Zach did 3, yeah,
and then I did 2 of them.
Yeah, and then the other one. Or the other 2.
The other 2 are all of us.
They're group vocals, which is Shitty Wizard and Martian Moon Monsters are group vocals.
I do Shitty Wizard. Me and you do Shitty Wizard.
Me and you do Shitty Wizard. That's right.
Martian Moon Monsters, we're all singing on. And, see, Left Behind is you.
Yeah.
Left Behind and Priest to Beast.
Priest to Beast is me. So the gruffier ones is the ones that I do, Brad.
Yeah.
Right.
Solve Knives also, that's just like a whole gang, kind of our punk song that we like.
Yeah, we kind of do this chant thing, and ended up transposing over on the first album to kind of have this unique sound of chanting. And that's a lot to do thanks to the way Tony mixed our album.
Okay.
Tony Mahone.
Yeah, Tony Mahone.
And Ryan
Bratcher, yeah. They did so we recorded that album over the course of 2 separate days. One day, and then one 2 weeks later.
Right.
Like about 6 hours in total.
Yeah, 6 hours each day. So we literally recorded that album in a total of like 12 hours with us, and then they spent like 2.5 months mixing it.
Wow.
So it was not a lot of work on our end, and the way we're doing our projects now is definitely a lot more work. I'm very proud of what we did with our first album, considering we did a good enough job in such short amount of time. But with this process that we're doing now, it's a lot more professional. It's a lot more.
I don't know about that.
Well, maybe.
We're doing it ourselves.
We're doing it ourselves and taking our time. Let's put it that way.
We're figuring out how to try to do it ourselves.
And Lauren here, our drummer, so he's doing all the recording for us, and
all the mixing.
All the mixing. He bought all the mics himself. Bless his heart.
And that's basically where it came from. I bought all the shit to do this. It's like, well, let's try to fucking do it ourselves.
Yeah, so we were just like, let's just try and do it ourselves, see how it goes. And it's been going very well.
And it's very tough.
It's very tough. Yes, very tough, and it has been taking some time. But we want to release a product that we are just absolutely, proud of. Well, and there's things that we see in the last album that we're not super proud of, but we are proud of how we did it in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and Tony and Ryan, they had a lot of work to do to make up for some of our shittiness.
Yes,
on that first
absolutely. Like you record 8 songs in a matter of 12 hours total. That kind of needs a little bit of editing.
I mean, it was, and that's how we wanted it to. Just kind of sort of how we sound live, not trying to do too many overdubs, and just kind of get it to how we actually sound whenever we play live, so that we're not really misrepresenting anything whenever we go up on stage.
And we kind of did in some of the songs, the new songs that we're doing, but also in some other ones we've taken a lot more time and done a lot more tracks and kind of experimented with like lead lines, and it's really helped us rewrite the songs that we've been playing live for a while now.
Which is also why it's been taking so long too.
Because we keep rewriting these songs into a different beast.
Yeah,
And it's fun, but it does take a long time for us because we want to produce a good product,
Yeah, and sometimes it takes time. Now, okay, so you got this Barbarian Love track out in 2019 of August, just came out basically. When do you think you're slated for the next release? Like sometime in 2020?
I'd probably say sometime pretty soon in the fall. I'd say maybe late October. We'll probably have it all done by then.
We should have it done before the end of the year. It's a possibility, maybe the beginning of the year. But we're planning on doing that first 4-track EP, Barbarian Love Songs. We'll be doing that first one. It should be out before the end of the year. But yeah, we're going to shoot for October, I think is what we're shooting for.
Yeah, late October.
Awesome. Now, okay, so let me just run down these songs. Just give me a sentence or two, something. We start out with Battle Dragons. We got this fuzzed out start and then a fat groove, speeds way up. What can you tell me about that track?
It's just about giants that ride herds of dragons in the battle, basically just overtaking towns and all that.
Yeah, burninating the lands.
It's inseminating.
Oh, inseminating.
Or incinerating everyone.
Those are two very different words, sir.
Well, maybe they do a little bit of both. A little bit A, a little bit B.
But yeah, basically just it's about giants riding on dragons, fucking shit up.
Yeah, and it's a fun riff to play.
It was a fun riff. It was one of the first riffs we had too as a band.
Yep.
And one of the first songs we wrote besides Shitty Wizard. I think Shitty Wizard
was our very first song. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I loved that name of that title.
And it's about exactly what you think it's about. Just a wizard that's not very good at what he does.
Yeah, he doesn't have all the powers.
Right.
Okay, so Cavernous, we go into this kind of flowy track. We get the different vocal, and I guess that's the difference between one of you singing and the other.
Yeah. So Battle Dragons was me singing. Probably should do a little more feet takes on that one, but it is
like we said, 12 hours.
Zach sings on Cavernous, and he kills it on that, man.
We discovered Zach had amazing vocals when we started this band, because he would sing and play songs when we would be around campfires and in our past bands. He did a lot of backup vocals, but once we started this band and he started singing, he's got this amazing vibrato that we never knew he had. So we just told him, hey, take the lead.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you sing from now on.
He's essentially our lead singer because he's really grown in his vocal capabilities over the years.
But yeah, Cavernous, I think, was based on Harry Potter lore. which Zach's heavily into.
Now, we won't get too much into that, but several things. We have some Harry Potter lore. Yeah. We have some Lord of the Rings lore.
Yeah, we take a lot from fantasy novels.
And we also kind of create some of our own fantasy at the same time. So
me and Brad tried to write our own lore back a long time ago called Baron Dragon.
Right?
Yeah, Lauren was there, and I was Dragon, of course, because I fucking love dragons, you know. I even got a guitar that's painted, and it's got a dragon in space on it. It's my acoustic guitar. Thank you, Kaylee Myers, by the way. Or Meyer.
Very nice. Now, what can you tell me about Left Behind? We got a killer solo in there, too.
So that was all my idea.
That was mostly Brad.
That was my first song that I wrote by myself, and I just brought it in.
Pretty much. Brad had the riffs. Brad had the lyrics. He sang, and
I do the solos too. And it was just, it's kind of got a bluesy feel to it, you know. But I always just like to put a ton of distortion and gain on everything, so it's not as bluesy. But it's kind of just, it was such a weird riff. I write very weird riffs. And most of the time I'm like, oh, that wouldn't work in a band standpoint. Well, this was one of those songs that shouldn't have worked. And for some reason it just did. And like, you know, I'm not a singer, but I have the gruff. So I can do the gruffy kind of singing. But like, and that song, I actually end up singing kind of decently. And like, there's some points where my voice kind of cracks a little bit in it, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's another credit to Tony and Ryan for how well they mixed my voice with the rest of the music, for sure. But it sounds my voice sounds overdriven on that track, and I love it. And I normally don't love my voice.
Well, you know what? And sometimes that's the beauty of it, whether you hear a little a spark, a pop, like a little, not a mistake, but something that's like, it doesn't need to be so polished, you know? It could be raw, and that's a beautiful thing, you know?
Well, and when you get used to hearing it mixed that way, and like when you hear a certain thing where it was a problem at first, you almost don't want to get rid of it because you've heard it in there so many times, because it creates a stamp on that track that you're like, oh, that was weird. Was that meant to be done, or was that not meant to be done? Well, not at first it wasn't meant to be done, but now it is.
Yeah, know? I've always liked those little things in albums.
Yeah, we tend to, with the way we do it now, we're able to cut out a lot more things. But if we hear something that kind of, sounds cool, we just want to keep it in there.
Some of the funky things make it sound really unique. So
it's like a stamp on the track that is identifiable only to that track. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I go way back. Like, maybe if Van Halen would have changed Unchained and didn't have that little breakdown, it wouldn't be the same song, man. It just wouldn't have that build up at the end, you know?
Absolutely. You just got to keep those signatures.
Yeah, those little funky quirks.
Yeah. Absolutely. So this might be one of my fave tracks, Martian Moon Monsters, another shift in vocal, and like you said earlier, it's one that has the group vocal on it, and I really like that track. What can you tell me about it?
So Trey had that bass line for the longest time, and it was always just like a jam, like a little jammy thing.
That was another one of those we didn't think would turn into a song. It was just kind of a jam thing.
Yeah, it's just a jam thing. He always just kind of started playing it, and we'd all just start jamming on it. And then I don't know who came up with the vocals. I think Trey did. He just kind of sat down and wrote like the melody and the vocals for it.
Well, and then we all sat down and took turns writing the lyrics. Oh, that was our first group writing.
Yeah, we all took turns like writing different verses and all on it.
Right. So like if something didn't sound like, we just put our input and we found out what the melody was. So we just started putting input, and like some things would stick, some things wouldn't, and then we'd replace some later. And it was just, that was a really fun writing process for that song.
And it was basically just about Martians from the moon taking over the Earth.
And it's just got a sway to it. Yeah. It's just, it's like you're on a swing the whole song.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Priest to Beast, before you talk about it, who wrote it?
Okay, so that's me, Brad.
Brad wrote that.
All right, Brad.
Let's go out.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's a lot of things wrong with me. I won't go in too much of a list, but Yes, I'll just go ahead and say it. That's a song about a werewolf skull fucking a priest.
Yes.
And the priest turns into a werewolf as well, and
through skull fucking. That's the only way that werewolves can turn you into a werewolf now, through this fantasy.
And he continues the cycle with the next priest.
Now, Brad, please, just for a minute, indulge me here. So, this skull fucking, is it? Is he using trying to get through every hole? Is skin being ripped apart? What's happening here?
So I don't think that the beast cares.
Okay.
He does not care what orifice, as long as it's through the skull.
That's fine, because I've heard that once the eyeball turns to jelly, it's a good lubricant for a good skull fucking.
You know, and the beast does not care what kind of lubricant he uses either.
He could use blood, I think.
Yeah, blood.
He prefers blood, but
saliva also works. So he doesn't necessarily have to maim the priest. He could just normal skull fucking.
Eye jelly works just as well.
Eye jelly works pretty good too.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, I think the perfect combo would be eyeball juice with just a little bit of mucus, but a clear mucus, not like a green, because then you'd get sick,
Yeah, absolutely, and you get caught up with that kind of boogery lubricant. Yeah.
No one needs that.
Mucus.
I mean, once you get there, it's just fucking gross. Let's face it.
Yeah, and that song, it just happened. It just happened. Zach helped a lot with the lyrics, and so did Trey and Lauren.
I didn't help much.
More so Trey. But I did a lot of the writing. Zach did help a lot with changing things up, and so did Trey. Trey had a lot of good ideas. Well, here's the thing. Trey was the one that was like, you got to make it about skull fucking.
Yeah.
And we'd laugh and be like, that's a funny joke.
Somebody said something about skull fucking, and then somebody else was like, all right, so what if that's how the werewolf turns other people into werewolves?
Yeah, it just happened. It was such a heavy song. It's probably the heaviest song on the album.
Yeah, I've always liked it.
And so me and Lauren, we're kind of the heavier element of the band.
We like heavy stuff.
And then Trey, he's got a lot. He's into a lot of different kinds of music, and he's into metal. He's more into like Graveyard and Uncle Acid and stuff like that. Yeah. And so are we. But also Trey has a lot of
the groove.
Broadened. He's got the groove. He's got a lot of broad tastes in like country and stuff like that. And then Zach, he's the Led Zeppelin guy, which is why he's so good at his vocals. But he's also, he's just very into operatic style things, it seems.
Yeah.
Which worked very well for Barbarian Love, making it such a ballad like that, because that really Barbarian Love transposed over to how Zach is really. But anyways, back to Priest to Beast. that song is such a blast to play. The solo is a blast to play. It's just very fun. It's a fun song. It's a fun idea, unless you're Christian. Sorry.
Hey, it is what it is.
We don't say priest.
Yeah.
But
well,
it can be anybody.
So we go into one of the shorter tracks on the release, "Solve It with Knives." Now, what are we talking about here?
That's just a party song with knives.
Yeah. We were talking about. Essentially, we were talking about if somebody was fucking with us.
That's our sound check song.
Yeah, that's essentially our sound check song.
There you go.
But as a joke, we were talking about if people were messing with us, how would we solve that situation? Well, with knives.
Yeah, we solve with knives.
Do a little stabby.
Just little stabbies.
Yeah.
Now, do any of you guys?
Really, we're very nice people.
Do any of you guys do anything as part of EDC? I don't know if you're familiar with that term, everyday carry.
VDC?
EDC, everyday carry.
And because the only reason I say this because when I saw Solve It with Knives, I was wondering if any of you actually collect them or, I got into this everyday carry thing for a while, and it's like it's like
I do
spinners and all
tabby that I carry with me every day, but it's not meant for my protection really, but it can be. But essentially for any kind of, and it's not actually a knife. It's actually kind of a pointed, machined, very pointy, and it's in a Sharpie. So it's in a Sharpie case, like the pin.
Right.
But when you open it, it's got a cylindrical pointed
Oh,
end.
he has a shank.
It's a shank.
He has a shank.
But I only use it to cut tape.
Well, that's what I'm asking about. Yeah.
I carry that every day for sure. And we have buddies that I actually have a close friend, Matt Harris. He makes Harris handmade knives. And I need to get one from him. But we all used to work in warehouses, and we used to carry knives with us all the time because of our warehouse jobs.
Yeah, I work in construction now. Knife is handy as fuck. You always keep it on you.
Yeah, always.
And that's a part of the everyday carry, my friends.
Yeah, I've never heard that term though. I didn't.
I didn't think about. I never thought of that as a thing. It's just normalized.
Yeah. Well, it's weird if you go on Instagram or something. People completely geek out for it, and they will take pictures of everything that they carry every day. Sometimes, I don't know how the hell everybody carries this stuff, but they've got knives and they've got these little things with paracord attached to it, and it's very ornate, and it's almost like a guy's version of jewelry,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and also in the sense, it's kind of like, things that you would carry in a purse if you were a guy or something like that. Like you got your rope around your knife and your sheath counteracts as something else. Or
that's it. Okay, so
keep it in your man
bag.
Your manny pack.
Manny pack. Good one. I like that.
Turbo Wizard Manny Pack's coming out with the release.
Now, we already talked a little bit about Shitty Wizard. We can figure that one out. And Sun Eater, it's another one of my favorite tracks, man. You got this groove and stoner jam. What can you tell me about it?
Oh,
so that's Zach's song.
That was also one of our first ones.
That was one of the first ones. And, man, honestly, throughout the entire album, we did not expect that song to become our favorite song of the album.
Yeah.
That was the least expected one to become our favorite. And just because of the way it sounds on that recording, it sounds great.
Yeah, I think Zach hates it, but we all fucking
love it. Zach hates it, but we love it. But that's also Zach's song.
He wrote it. So.
Well, as an artist, most people understand you kind of hate your own things a little bit.
Yeah, you're a little more critical of yourself, but we're always like, dude, let's play fucking Sun Eater, man.
But, so that song's about Superman.
Yeah, it's basically a Superman song.
Eat the sun because that's what gives you power.
Yeah.
Oh, straight up. I love it. Thanks. Look, guys, I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you going over this. And if you missed it in the beginning of the interview, Turbo Wizard is going to be opening up FUZZ Fest Dallas-Fort Worth 2019. I think tickets are still available. It'll be at Division Brewing. And, gentlemen, how can everybody reach you on social media?
Mainly through our Instagram, Turbo Wizard Band. We also have a Facebook page. I think Brad's the only one that keeps tabs on that.
Yeah, I keep pretty good tabs, so you can message us through either of those outlets to get contact with us. If anybody wants to book us, get us. We're definitely trying to get out on the road more. So FUZZ Fest is officially our first out-of-state show.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're planning on doing this more often. We actually have a couple of shows coming up in September. One will be in Lawton at the Railhead Saloon on September 20th. And then on the 21st, we're heading back to Division Brewery for our second out-of-state show. And we'll be doing those 2 September dates with Crowbone. We're really excited. They're our good buddies, and we're excited to be on the road with them.
Yeah.
And it's just 2 days, but we consider that on road.
Hey, anything to just build the scene and build your band,
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks a bunch. Wish you the best, and if I can grab a ticket, man, if I can get a cheap ticket, I will be out there and supporting. If not, I'll be there in spirit. So either way,
absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys, and I think it's time to hear a track. Let's hear the latest of what you have going on right now. We talked about it a little bit. This is a Barbarian love song.
Lost in mind, they made their fires from a stone, found in time. Forbidden love, it melted his heart just with a smile.
Thanks for hanging out. It's doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. That is how to reach us. Follow us on social media at Doomtomb Podcast. If you're heading over to iTunes, leave us a review, couple stars. That would be awesome. Do you want to be interviewed? Do you have some submissions? doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. That is how to do it. Thanks a lot. We got a few more FUZZ Fest interviews coming up this week. Sit tight, and we'll get to them. We're going to throw them out as fast as possible now. Thanks a lot, everyone. Until next time, don't forget to stay heavy.